What is XRP and what is XLM? Although they have their monikers of Ripple and Lumens and Stellar and all that, the fact that they're called an XRP and an XLM, in my opinion, is no great coincidence. The ISO 4217 is a standard published by the International Organization for Standardizations, the ISO, that defines alpha codes and numeric codes for the representation of currencies and provides information about the relationships between individual currencies and their minor units. This data is published in 3 tables. Regardless of these tables, if I move down here to X currencies, in addition to codes for most active national currencies, ISO 4217 provides codes for supranational currencies, procedural purposes, and several things which are similar to currencies. Good examples are gold, silver, palladium, so on. Says the use of the letter X for these purposes, right here, is facilitated by the ISO 3166 rule that no official country code beginning with X will ever be assigned. So it has no official country code. The inclusion of EU, denoting the European Union, is the ISO 3166. Reserve codes list allow the euro to be coded as euro rather than a design code beginning with X, even though it is a supranational currency. And that's because it's not, it's just Europe. It's not necessarily the whole world. So it has a special acronym there. But this bit about the X in the ISO 3166 rule, the supranational currency, country codes beginning with X are used for private custom use, reserved, never for official codes. Despite the word private custom, the use may include other public standards. Examples: the ISO 3166-based NATO country codes use X codes for imaginary exercise countries ranging from XXB for brown land and XXR for red land, as well as major commands such as, so on and so forth. They create little fake countries for imaginary exercises when they're testing their systems. Currencies that are 4217, obviously, it's things that are used for meetings and exchanges, but that no one can produce, gold namely. So X denotes supranational currencies and things that are similar to currencies but aren't quite. And what is gold? Gold, silver, palladium are stores of wealth. They're stores of value. That's what they are. And if you look at here, an XRP, an RP in economics and finance is a repurchase agreement, also known as a repo or a sales and repurchase agreement. It is a form of short-term borrowing, mainly in government securities. The dealer sells the underlying security to investors and by agreement between the two parties buys them back shortly afterwards. Now, there is such thing as a currency repo, and that is how people can convert currencies. So if XRP is to be used to convert value, then it is in fact a repurchase agreement in itself. But it's not the agreement as much as it is the store of value used as collateral to exchange value through a supranational currency. And that's what an RP is. It's a repurchase agreement. So whether or not it's called a security, because it in itself isn't really the repurchase agreement. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It is the store of value that will be used for the repurchase of a different currency or a different form of value. I believe it'll probably just be currencies. It could be something else, But people look up. We can even look it up now. We can type in currency repo. Repurchase agreement. Yeah. Well, you can look up currency repo and learn more about it. And then what do we have here? XLM. We have the ISLM model, where IS stands for investment savings and LM stands for liquid preference money supply, or liquid money. So whereas XRP is going to be the store of value, XLM, or the liquid money, is going to be the it will be the money people use. I think I've even heard or read that as XRP is going to emulate Bitcoin in a more advanced, in a more efficient and realistic way for our modern financial systems. And in that sense, it's basically saying it's going to be the store of value for the future. XLM will be used, they said, for poor up and coming nations and developing nations. And it just kind of makes me feel like, well, you have gold and silver, but in digital form on a supranational currency sort of way. Like, let's assume that what they're doing here is creating a new metal. And it's like a metal in the sense that there's a finite amount of it. It has a level of deflation, because both XLM and XRP designed to slowly destroy themselves over time. And that's very similar to precious metals. They are lost regardless of your best efforts for many different reasons. But yeah, you have XLM, which will be used for liquid money. I guess that would imply that it'll be used for purchases of goods. People will use it to buy. I don't know what you could call it. They'd probably buy, they could buy anything: buy houses, buy cars, perhaps even buy food and things like that. It'll be a currency that'll be able to be used everywhere in the entire world. So you'll have your country's currency, their country's digital currency or cryptocurrency, and then you'll have XLM, which will be accepted everywhere. And perhaps it's because XLM will be backed by silver, which is it's a different scenario. It's just a different system than the gold system. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out to everyone.